Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. This week we're discussing the episode Sanctuary. I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.
Alrighty. So this episode originally aired on May 2nd, 2000, attracting 5.29 million viewers. Now let's start off with the box office. Number one movie this week, Dave. Any guesses?
Found in May of that year.
I'll give you a hint. It's a massive movie that I'm honestly
Mess.
surprised barely was at the top of the box office, but it's a movie you've definitely seen.
I wouldn't be surprised, but nothing is immediately coming to mind. And anything that it probably would mention would probably be a little bit later on. Um, yeah, that year that was big. Mm, as it is, I'm coming up with a blank.
So it's this little film called Gladiator.
Ah, yes. And I think I only remember it because I vaguely remember seeing a clip while I was surfing recently.
Yes, it is a very,
I think
very
on the
good
one
film.
hand, I vaguely remember either hearing about it or supposedly watching it, but that might have been a couple of years afterward. But yeah, the things that were most likely big at the time that we've never really paid attention to.
Yeah, I doubt you would have seen it at the time because I'm pretty sure that like it's an R-rated movie. I'm pretty sure, and you would have been like 10, so you probably wouldn't have seen it at the time.
But then, of course, also while we were kids, they decided to give us particular toys and other sorts of stuff from higher rated movies.
It's true. It's true. I did have like an NES game from like Rambo.
In my case, I had a little Terminator with all the voice lines.
Oh yeah, I rented a Terminator game once too. Anyway, that's irrelevant. Um,
So true.
Number one song in America this week.
Now for songs. Uh, Not sure if I remember it right, but wasn't it last week? It was that one from Savage Garden, I think it was, or
No, but you are correct. It is the same song as last time. It's Maria Maria by Santana featuring the product GNB.
okay, Santana.
Yeah.
No idea where Savage Garden came from.
Well, they were the top not terribly long ago.
Hmm.
And for video games, we've only got two this week, which is kind of sad.
Well, it's May, so it's not too surprising, especially with all the other stuff that was released.
So I'm gonna be surprised if you've heard of either of these games.
Yeah, try me.
May 4th, we get a game called Four Wheel Thunder, which was on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, no, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, didn't think so. It got really good reviews. It was like a ATV monster truck kind of racing game.
Nah, understandable. Racers, and especially with monster trucks.
Yes, and the one that I I'd still be surprised if you've played this game, even though it's from a series you've probably played. It's a
Hmm.
little game. I'm going to use the Japanese release name because it would be too confusing if I use the North American one. It was released in Japan as Metal Gear Ghost Babel.
Here, Ghost Battle.
Babel. Babel.
Oh, Babel. Hmm. In some cases, I think I might have heard of it, but yeah, I don't think it's one that I've actually played.
It's a Game Boy Color, obviously Metal Gear game. That
Uh, yeah, most likely then.
it actually like just looking at the one screenshot here, it actually looks kind of cool. Like it's kind of got a really, it's got a, it just looks nice, especially considering it's a Game Boy Color game.
Yeah, on that one.
Alrighty, let's get into this episode.
Ooh.
Okay, here we go. So we start off with Angel taking Faith back to his apartment. Angel tucks her into bed, and as Angel retreats, Faith has a brief violent vision where she charges at him with a knife and cuts up his face. Because, you gotta make sure it's cheery right away.
Yeah, pretty much Faith's mindset with how it's kind of going, either in the typical sense of how she thinks, or her Slayer blood being like, "That is a flippant vampire. Do your job."
So, Angel goes upstairs to get Faith food. Wesley argues about giving Faith another chance, and Cordelia gets Angel to sign several checks to fund her vacation so that she can be gone as long as Faith is around. Which honestly seems pretty reasonable to me.
So very much in both of their cases. Though in Wesley's case, it's kind of coming down off of the case of he was tortured. So, yeah.
Yeah, like, he's also advocating for murder, though, so you know.
Again, he's coming off of being tortured.
I mean, you're not wrong. Faith starts reliving her past crimes. She attempts to leave Angels. However, he extends another invitation to help her, and she returns. Downstairs, Faith confesses to Angel that she is haunted by visions of her violent past in Sunnydale and inadvertently reveals that Buffy is dating someone else. I'm sure this won't get awkward later at all.
Of course not.
Angel talks to Faith about redemption, saying that she has to make amends for her crimes no matter how hard it is. Meanwhile, Wesley plays darts at a bar and encounters Weatherby, a man from the Watchers Council Special Operations Team on the hunt for Faith. Basically, the council is going to make a deal with Wesley where he can get back into the council if he helps them capture Faith. They give him a syringe that will, if he injects it into Faith, it'll sedate her so that they can take her back to England to. They promise not to torture. They promise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Lindsay, Lila, and Lee from Wolfram and Hart are upset that Faith has teamed up with Angel because they hired her to kill him.
Yeah, the case of they hired her as assassin to kill the guy who now staying with the guy that had to hire a second assassin that was killed by the first assassin.
Yes, they hire a demon to have her killed, who then Faith murders in Angel's apartment. And right as this happens, Angel is comforting Faith after killing this demon. Buffy walks in because
Because it's just a marvelous case of nobody even had to say, "Oh, how could this get any worse?"
Yes. Well. So basically, Buffy is there because she's worried about what Faith would do to Angel. And she wants to turn Faith into the police because, Faith with the whole murder thing.
I think a bit of that, but also the case of, yeah, she wants to get revenge on Faith.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We get flashbacks to Faith killing I forget the guy's name now, but she killed that guy in Sunnydale, which is
yes,
allegedly why Buffy's there to hunt her down.
Yeah, kind of the big thing, the concern of killing demons is her job, but actually taking a human life puts you onto the human law, and that's a bad thing.
Yes. So, Lindsay from Wolfram and Hart goes to see Detective Kate Lockley and provides her with some information that Faith is staying with Angel, and they both have a vested interest in apprehending Faith and kind of fucking over Angel. So, the council folk decide to attack Angel's apartment, I guess.
Yeah, they pretty much follow Wesley. It's like a case of, here's the job we're going to do. Wesley leaves, and it's like, yeah, let's tail him so we could actually get the job done.
Yes, and then there's a big, really, actually, considering especially this series, a really impressive action sequence where they go on the roof and there's the helicopter, and it looks quite nice. There's a guy shooting from the helicopter, and there's the two guys with their, fucking guns. I didn't know anything about guns, so I can't tell you what type. A really impressive.
Like very most, it's like typical semi-automatic, aside from the fancy machine gun rifle thing that they had up in the helicopter. But again, no expert with guns.
Yeah. So, Buffy basically ends up having to protect Faith. Angel jumps through the skylight and takes down the helicopter. Well, the guy in the helicopter, he grabs the dude who's shooting in the helicopter and yeets him off the side, and then he gets the helicopter pilot to land the chopper. when that's when Kate Lockley comes up and is like, "All right, where the fuck's Angel or where the fuck's Faith?"
And she says nothing. It's like, well, book him.
Yeah, so she takes Angel into custody. She says, "Great, we'll put you in a cell. Oh, it faces east, so in about 4 hours the sun will come up. Basically, I'm gonna kill you if you don't tell me." They walk into the squad room, and we see Faith sitting at a on a chair by a desk, and she basically just comes over and says that she wants to make a confession.
Yeah.
And we see at the end of the episode we see Faith in her jail cell because
Yeah.
the whole murder and multiple assaults and all the other crimes she's committed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think of this episode?
Ooh, just a powder keg of all the particular things. It's crazy. But then, of course, I guess that's what happens when Faith comes jumping into the story.
Yes, yes, it is. That tends to
But,
happen.
yeah, but at least with this, it shows at least the two sides that they had with Faith. Bringing correlation to the start of her putting on the act to supposedly get what she wants, but still using people to get what she wants and causing all the betrayal incident like that. But then also getting into the more human side of it of, yeah, she's done all this shit, but can she really handle it? She needs help in most of all these cases. And despite the fact that there's been systems in place to try and assist with it, it just hasn't worked.
Yeah, yeah. Faith kind of got fucked over. Anyway, um,
Hmm.
we also have a moment where Angel and Buffy have a conversation, and here's a fun little
Ooh.
note. This is the last time they will be on screen together.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too surprising with how everything panned out with that.
Technically, Buffy will make a few more appearances on the show, but this is like the last major appearance.
Okay. Case of either cameoing or little bit part within an episode in the future.
Yeah, so like I think a couple of times they're going to use like archive footage, and then there's like a few brief cameos, and she might pop up in like one of Cordelia's visions or two, but that's about it.
I see. I see. No, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
So, just to bring correlation to that, as well as the other discussion when Buffy first showed up, just the dynamic still between the two of Buffy coming for reasons, but also revenge when she first arrived. And just her attacking Angel and then Angel punching her to the discussion they had afterward to it. Just, ooh, all the things that have happened to Buffy with Faith's case with it, and then of case with all the stuff that Angel's been through with Buffy, and just, ugh.
yeah. And Angel and Buffy have that conversation in the police station where she's like, "Don't I get vengeance?" And he's like, "Not in my city." And that's very much a hard line to divide the two series, where it's like they take
Mhm.
place in the same universe, but we're not gonna have a ton of crossover now.
Yes, with that sort of thing, because it's just going to be too much. They probably could do it, but it's most likely would result in a lot of heartbreak, craziness, and stuff that the show could probably not manage or handle decently.
Well, it's also a matter of just like from a production standpoint, it would be a nightmare
Yeah, that as well. That most certainly as well.
because then you have to be moving cast members from like it'd just be too much of a pain in the ass to do it too often.
Yeah, yeah.
Alrighty, so time for some international titles. So there's a whole bunch of them that are just either Sanctuary or The Sanctuary. Boring. However,
Yeah.
there's a few good ones.
Ooh.
So in Hungarian, it translates as the listener. In Italian, it translates as vengeance.
Yeah, that also fits.
And my personal favorite, in German, it translates as haunted.
Yeah, that fits. That fits very well.
I think it's really good. Yeah.
I question with Hungarian though being the listener. Like
I think it's meant to be that, like, I don't know. Actually, yeah. I don't know.
like I could maybe see points of it, but it seems kind of like the
Yeah,
furthest kind
it's
of
not a
reach
great
to
title.
try and fit a title.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now, did you have anything else about this episode, Dave?
No, I think with this one, just with where its specific placement is, it's one of those really good episodes that really ties a lot of the story and whatnot together and gives big bombastic sort of bit to close to the end of the first season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exactly sure with how everything else was going to be going with the rest of the episodes or how this season is going to kind of end or continue on with things. But I think at the very most, especially from the previous episode, it gives more of a better sort of arc in comparison to finding Faith and defeating her in comparison to trying to help. Again, which this series is more focused on trying to assist more of the people instead of fighting the big bad, whether it be uh, demon related or the words escaping me,
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
bad person's plans.
Yeah, this show focuses a lot more on, as Angel says, like saving souls. It's not about like beating the demon, and like it's
Mm.
structured differently as a result, right? Because like in Buffy,
Yes, yes.
every season there's like a big bad that they have to beat, whereas at this point in the show, there's not really a big bad that they're fighting against. It's just kind of, lower level crime, I guess, is how you look at it, like street level stuff.
Yeah, case to case sort of basis.
Yeah, yeah. Alrighty, so next week we'll be discussing the episode Warzone.
Oh, of course, because this episode wasn't as much of a war zone.
Oh, oh, Dave. Alrighty, so Angel's gonna get hired by a software developer millionaire dude who's gonna have him track down a blackmailer. But he's gonna get
Hmm.
caught up in the middle of a gang war between a group of street kids led by Charles Gunn. He'll be important later.
Hmm.
And a nest of vampires in his neighborhood. Oh, it's a good one because we get Gunn. It's
Duly
good
noted.
because Gunn's good. Good as Gunn. Anyway, until next time. Until next time, I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.